Today we are talking about, forgiving yourself. And our question is, have you ever had to forgive yourself in order to move on? And we didn't hit the streets, but we have a consultant psychiatrist. Her name is Linda. So let's welcome Linda in the building.
Karibu
Yay,
sana, looking gorgeous.
Thank
you. Hey, and I just have to say this. Vaida, thank you so much for availing. Unatokanga mbali?
Sana.
For real?
Isiolo wewe.
No.
Anatoka na last week alikuwa ametoka Samburu. Huh?
Okay,
Just to be here.
Kweli. Thank you so
Shout
much
out,
for the
man.
shout out.
You know, she said, I was like, wow. Karibu
my
sana.
God. Yeah.
Thank you. Let's start out. What is forgiveness in layman's language?
I think how we know it, just forgiveness is letting go. You can forgive, you may not necessarily forget, but it's just that process of letting go, and letting go of the anger, letting go of that negativity and all that negative space that you've been in, either for yourself or with someone else. It's just releasing, basically just umekuachilia.
Yeah.
Yes.
And speaking about forgiveness, we are more relying on self-forgiveness. So why is it important for your mental health to forgive yourself? And how do you even go about it?
I think forgiving yourself is important because if you don't, most of the time what happens, you end up being a very bad critic towards yourself. So you've not forgiven yourself for this, you end up pulling that into another aspect of your life. And the thing with that, it also may impact on your self-esteem and also how you just relate with the other people around you. So forgiving yourself sometimes it's easier to forgive other people than it is to forgive yourself.
Because you're self-critic.
Yes, yes, and sometimes we beat ourselves so much. We look at other people and we think, that one, alikosa, it's okay. But for you, when you do the exact same thing, you find it so hard
different.
to forgive. Yes.
So how do you go about forgiving yourself then?
Yes, I think the first thing is just to understand and acknowledge the fact that you're human. Everyone is bound to err.
Okay.
I look at Kush and I'll be like, she alikosea. But I'll not look at myself, I'll be like, why did I do that? You're being dumb, or that was very stupid. But remembering, first of all, we are all human, we are bound to error. And then also, after accepting that, you can now look at what did I do, and what can I change about it? Is there something I can do differently? Was there something I could do differently, and is there something I can do differently now? If there was something you could have done differently, at least now you know better. Next time you'll not make the same mistake. Is there something I can do now? If there's nothing I can do now about it, there's no point to continue holding it on, because it's tearing you, it's breaking you down. For some people, they have things they're so ashamed about. Every night they cry in bed, every night. So just, is there something I can do about it now? No, it happened. I was not too proud of it, I was embarrassed about it, or it was a very shameful thing to do, or it was something beyond my control. Fine, that has gone. What can I do about it now? I can change this 1, 2, 3. How do I go about that? What are the kind of steps I need to take to get there? If there's nothing I can do about it, just let it go.
Okay.
But let me ask you, do you feel like a lot of people tend not to forgive themselves? And the fact that you've not forgiven yourself for allowing whatever happened to you, or whatever mistake take place, yet you think that you probably knew better, but you chose to ignore it, hence you put yourself in a particular position. And since you've not forgiven yourself, you end up projecting every emotion that you felt or emotion that you're still feeling when you remember whatever happened to the next person that you're with. Do you feel like that happens a lot of times?
It can, and especially with our close relations, and now that can interfere with how we even relate with the next person. So simple things like even a mother feeling neglected a girl feeling neglected growing up, then when they become, or maybe let's say they were sexually abused growing up, then when they become a parent, they are too critical on the child, but that's because they're still battling so much within them that they've not let it go. So you find they're very harsh to this child, or they're overly protective to the point where this child can't even breathe, can't even be a child, So yes, it's very possible, and especially to people who are vulnerable in our space. So whoever is vulnerable in my space, so it could be my child, it could be my significant other, something. Yeah.
But why is it so hard to forgive yourself? From a psychological point of view.
I think it goes back to understanding that we are human first.
Okay.
You know, you want the best for yourself.
All right.
I want to be better than the next person, you know. But when I look at I look at you, I'm like, okay, fine. So and so did this mistake. Laugh about it, but it's not affecting me directly.
Yeah.
But the one that's affecting me directly, I beat myself over it, and I take that negative criticism so much into heart, and sometimes that negative criticism can now even lead to stress, anxiety, and now the problem with that, now it brings sort of a triad where you have this negative assumption of, there's the negative event that happened, and then there's how you felt about it. You've not forgiven yourself. Then now it comes now to being more negative actions. So it's just a negative space such that the next time you go and do something a bit similar, it's even worse. Or if you're in a similar space.
Oh, wow. Amazing.
You feel like, if you're in a similar space, you feel like, here I am again, doing the exact same thing that I did again. And then you're like, Linda, why do you keep doing this? And then you keep calling yourself those names. Yeah. You're stupid.
So you self-critic kabisa, and then and thank you so much for that insightful information. Sadly, our time is inatupa kisogo. But of course, guys, do you ever forgive yourself? 111 444 111 is the SMS line. Asante sana Linda kwa kuja. We're going to take a very short commercial break. We'll be right back.
Yes, welcome back. And the question was, have you ever had to forgive yourself in order to move on? What happened? Hashtag chatspot. And some of y'all just sent in some comments. Na Maria anasema, it's hard but I try to. Okay, relatable. Kalala anasema, ongoja nikumbuke. Akiameandika ongoja. Imagine. Na zile emoji za hivi. Okay, sawa, tunangoja ukikumbuka mtu wangu tuandikie hapo hivyo. Carson International anasema, I just did a mistake of choosing the wrong people in my life. Ilibidi nijisamee. I never repeat the mistake nowadays. Okay, that's good. Mark the Prince anasema, still following. Na Jose ameandika tu ha. Sasa wewe sijui tutakusaidia vipi. But yes, keep the feedback coming. Tuna appreciate sana.
Yes, and because we have a guest in studio, I'm excited. You will be. I promise you, you will be. It's time for On the Spot.